Imagine living just a stone's throw away from a college football stadium. Sounds exciting, right? But here's where it gets complicated. While some neighborhoods thrive on the buzz, others grapple with the chaos. Take Katherine Bond, for instance, whose relationship with her neighbor, the University of California's Memorial Stadium, is anything but simple. Bond has called Panoramic Hill, a quaint enclave of historic homes in Berkeley, California, her home for 35 years. Yet, several times a year, her peace is disrupted by the stadium's roaring crowds and late-night events. One such event, a Friday night game, drew a crowd that included a 73-year-old millionaire and his 24-year-old companion, leaving Bond feeling more than a little exasperated. A few years back, the stadium underwent a multi-million-dollar renovation, sparking neighborhood chatter. Bond, however, found the makeover scandalous, especially for a structure that had just turned 102. "If I ruled the world, I'd never have placed it here," she remarked. "I'd have built a world-class earthquake research center instead, relocating the stadium to a safer, more central spot." Built in 1923, Memorial Stadium sits precariously on the Hayward Fault, nestled between Berkeley's Strawberry Canyon and the homes of Panoramic Hill. This uneasy coexistence between a historic stadium and its residential neighbors is a uniquely college town phenomenon, where the line between big-time sports and quiet living is constantly blurred. And this is the part most people miss. While these stadiums are iconic landmarks, think Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor or Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, their placement in residential areas has forced neighborhoods to adapt to the evolving, multi-billion-dollar spectacle of college football. For decades, Cal football games have been a fixture on Panoramic Hill, and many residents cherish the nostalgia. Streets are closed to outsiders. Kids sell snacks to fans, and neighbors gather with coolers and lawn chairs to watch the pregame buzz. But here's where it gets controversial. With Cal's move to the ACC, games now draw larger, more distant crowds, like the recent matchup against North Carolina, which kicked off at 7:30 p.m., flooding the neighborhood with late-night noise and traffic. "The vibe has changed," noted Berkeley resident Michael Wallman. "It's less about local tradition and more about out-of-town spectacle. While game days can be a headache, they also spawn unexpected opportunities." Take Helen Giordani, who turned her Ann Arbor yard into a parking goldmine. When she bought her home in 2011, she inherited a parking business and a meticulously planned map to fit 25 cars into her yard. Her block even has an unwritten parking consortium with one golden rule: you do not undercut. Giordani warned, recalling a tense standoff with a teenager who tried to underprice her. On game days, she hands out chocolate chip cookies while orchestrating a parking Tetris, ensuring every inch of space is used efficiently. Her operation is more than a business. It's a community. She's befriended regulars like Two Drunk Guys and Dallas Steve, who even threw her a baby shower. Yet the sacrifices are real. No fall weekends away, no spontaneous grocery runs, and no raised garden beds. They'd take up precious parking spots. But here's the bigger question. As universities like Michigan seek new revenue streams, will neighborhoods like Ann Arbor's Lower Burns Park become collateral damage? Ann Hansen, a longtime resident, worries about the future. "I signed up for 6 to 8 football games a year, not a mini pine knob in my backyard," she said, referencing the recent Zach Bryan concert that drew over 112,000 fans. Meanwhile, in Madison, near Camp Randall Stadium, residents have found a solution: proactive outreach. Doug Carlson, head of the Villas Neighborhood Association, credits annual meetings with school officials for reducing trash, noise, and vandalism. "We've gone from dealing with people peeing in yards to picking up candy wrappers," he said. Berkeley, ever the activist town, has its own colorful history with college football. In 2006, protesters occupied a grove of oak trees slated for removal to build an athletic center, holding out for 21 months. Bond, who opposed the stadium's renovation, fears for the area's wildlife and worries about disaster preparedness. "Imagine a wildfire during a game," she said. "Panic would ensnare everyone, blocking emergency access." Yet, neighbor Kevin Casey sees it differently. Panoramic Hill, he argues, benefits from disaster preparedness measures like brush clearing, and Cal's smaller crowds and public transit options ease traffic concerns. For him, the stadium's energy is part of the neighborhood's charm. So, what's the takeaway? Living near a college football stadium is a double-edged sword, a blend of tradition, tension, and unexpected community. But here's the real question. As these stadiums evolve into entertainment hubs, who gets to decide where the line between excitement and disruption is drawn? And whose neighborhood will be next? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you see these stadiums as a blessing, a burden, or a bit of both?